It's live.
It's live, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. This one is called Representative of the Oppressed. And I want y'all to just stick with me for a minute. And I'll start off with one of our ayats. وَمَا خَلَقْتُ جِنَّ وَإِنسَ إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُونَ. I have only created jinns and men, ants and jinns, that they serve me. And I say that because we know that ants and jinns include all of those special creatures, and especially jinns, that they might refer to foreigners. And I heard a group of jinn reciting, the Quran is beautiful reciting. So those were foreigners, probably. They was reciting it, the Quran, and they liked it. Beautiful reciting. Then jinn refers to something that's unseen, like even microorganisms and things that you have to look at it in a microscope. They would be considered technically as jinn because they're not visible. Whatever their creation, whatever their position, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, I only created men and jinn that they serve me. And then the word is ila liya'budun. That, ibadah, that they serve me. And so, when I'm speaking today, I want everybody to keep in mind that everything in creation is meant to serve Allah. And nothing happens in the creation without the permission of Allah. The jinn or any of those angelic personalities, we are not people who believe in the fallen angel, or Lucifer, that was a fallen angel. He got mad and he said, why? It's very simple. The angels don't have the power to do that. Whenever you read the Quran, it said, we only hymn your praises. We only follow what you laid out. And when they object to the creation, you're going to create somebody that could hear that everything is working perfect and balanced. Man, if something dies, there's ants and other animals that eat that thing up. And what they throw out is fertilizer. If nobody gets to the thing to eat it up, it still fertilizes the ground. It does, everything works perfect. In the perfect world, in the way Allah created everything, the streams are purified every 1/4 of a mile. That's in the old days. Because of the sand and everything. And, any small river or stream, all of that water was spring water. It was just fresh and clean as it could be. Because even if it was polluted, it runs in that stream and it gets polluted, it goes over rocks, aeration, you know what I mean? You give it time, it's going to be clean. So everything in the universe works perfect. I mean, okay. So people would say, what about oppression and misery and pain and all of that? And that's a very good question. If you were to ask the question now, about the United States and its behavior. If you were to look at Iran, it's 7,000 miles right now over there, trying to get everybody's mind off the foolishness that's done and then over here. Right? Or think about something else. And the people over there say, no, man, you don't have no business over here. What is your purpose for being here? His purpose is as a troublemaker. That's the only thing he's ever done, is made trouble all over the world. And then if you look at Iran, now Iran is doing good. Iran is doing good. Iran, they're using the immunity that you get when your body cures yourself of they're using that blood or plasma to give to somebody else. The United States are trying to use it now too, but they give it to other people, and it has some work. It's working a little bit, and Iran was evidently the target because China was hit in Iran, both of them, number one and number two. China cleaned it up right away. They cleaned it up right away. Can you imagine all those 1.2 or 3 billion people cleaned that boy up in a hurry? South Korea cleaned up in a hurry. Everybody that got off quick. So Iran got off relatively quick, and it can't get anything from anybody else. It can't get any
PPE, ventilators, masks,
money. It can't get any of those things. It can't get anything. It tried to get loans from the International Monetary Fund and medicine. It has to produce its own everything, which, believe it or not, is good. Iran just put its first satellite. When I was in Iran, time before last, or 3 conferences ago, it was they was mad at that movie Argo, what was it? Hollywoodism conference. Because Iran was really mad at that. And they would get mad at movies like the 300, which basically happened, but they would be mad. They said, you go back 3,000 years to dig up the thing, the 300, which they did. Those guys, they stopped the Persian invasion. They did. But why you gotta go, see, because everybody else that's on their team gonna look at that like, yeah, the Greeks did it then, we descendants of the Greeks and all that, those are our homeboys, and we can do this now. But you think about it, America has never won an encounter with Iran. You may not remember Tabaz in 1980, when they was trying to go over and fly over to get the hostages, and the helicopters was crashing into each other. And Imam said he recited Alam Tara Kaifa Fa'al Rabbuka Bi Ashabil Fil. You know, and all of a sudden the helicopters was crashing into each other, and the sandstorm, Ababil, look at here. Well, no, the sandstorm just, hey man, it did that did Carter in. That did him in. After that, he didn't have no chance of winning. Not to change the subject, but then we know about Karubi and them and those other guys that met in Geneva sometime later on the October surprise. A lot of people don't know. But see, these Republicans say, hey man, you can't do nothing with us. That might have been them. Whatever happened. The October surprise. Keep those spies until the whole thing is over. They didn't let them go to, hey man, they inaugurated Reagan, then they let him go. That was mean. But that was the Republicans doing that. Iranians wouldn't have no reason to do that. But that was part of the deal. If you do that for us, do this. Now, remember the way the Republicans look at it, hey, we're going to promise the world, but ain't nothing you can do about it. If you say you made a deal with the devil, with the great Satan, you made a deal with the devil, me, right? You got to think about it. McFarland in '87, you remember his Secretary of State? McFarland. Remember when he went over to Iran and gave them guys a cake and some pistols? And they said, well, the pistols are somewhere, he said, and the boys ate up the cake. The guards, they were sitting there hungry, and they just ate up the cake. How would he just flew into Iran, how would an American, head of this almost Secretary of State, is he third in line for the presidency or fourth? He might be third. President, Vice President, yeah, Secretary of State. Yeah, Secretary of State is third. How would the third in line go over there and, what was it, Castle? It was McFarland. He went over there. How would he go over there if he didn't have some homeboys over there? I'm going to get back to the subject. What I picked up was everybody's reaction. I was watching Rafsanjani. I used to love him and his lectures, social responsibility in Islam. And all of a sudden, he was on the defensive. I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I don't know nothing. I said, there you go. That's him. Anyway. So, I only created men and jinn and they serve me. So, if we see some things that are absolutely the most wretched and terrible things that you can imagine, like the war in Yemen. You might think, why would Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim, Al-Malik, Al-Qudus, why would the Creator allow those things to happen? You see? Okay. They might say, look at the United States. The United States is trying to take the guns from people in the United States, their Second Amendment, but he sells guns all over the world. He's the top gun seller in the world. Of course, only the arms manufacturers get the money, but he's the top gun manufacturer in the world. Why would the Creator allow those things to happen? Well, that's the question that the angels was asking. You mean you're going to create a Musa, somebody that can create mischief and spread blood? Because before that time, those other characters didn't exist. So Allah is going to create the human being, and He's going to create the guy or the crew to help that human being develop, become stronger. Do you ever notice that I'm always saying, yeah, I said this, that, and the other, specifically? Why? Because the United States will put more heat on the Islamic Republic so that the United States will identify who the strategic allies are. Why? Because what's coming, and they're moving, I give our allies super credit for their upward motion, but they have to get bigger. They have to get bigger. Same thing with us. Why do you just look outside. The little yellow car, I just spent $400 on the car. The guy said, oh, it's just a little signal change. So that meant it just needs a little, a few, little something in the computer just changed that little thing. And,
Right.
yeah, but he come back a little while later, he said, no, it's a such and such, it's gonna be $400. I said, okay. If you look and you see that van out there, it's the best running van, but somebody just stuck a gadget in there and messed it up where, you know, it don't start good. And I knew that they was gonna do that to that one because the people that had some vans said that that's the one that they would steal, and they stole the other one, a Chrysler. I don't know if you remember, I used to have a white Chrysler out there, white Chrysler van. They stole that, and then they drove it around to the Negro neighborhood right across 295. The Negroes live over there. And the police called me and said, your van is over here. I said, my van is over here. I said, y'all stole that van. Y'all must be crazy. Well, if you want it, you have to come over and get it. So I come over and get it, and I look at the little ignition is there. I stick the ignition in, take the screwdriver and start it up and bring it on back. You know. We have pictures of we call somebody to do the electricity over there. In the house. It's the same person that we called to do the electricity for that copying machine down there. When we got it, about must have been 10 years ago, that thing was super futuristic. It do both sides. You can point this and do the same ones they have in all them other staples and everything. You push the button, it'll staple the stuff, it'll do both sides. Technically, it does everything but write the book for you. But it takes a bigger 240 or something like that. So I called a brother, that's back then, to just, we got all that juice downstairs just to make a plug that'll fit in that. And it didn't happen. If we call somebody to just come and fix the water over there, we didn't talk to them many times. They just don't come, or they come when they get ready. And it's not the first time. We know what they're gonna, we know what they're gonna do, okay? Our attitude also with the system is that we have to encourage the system to do more to us so we can elevate ourselves higher. Because whatever they do, the stuff they've been doing, we was used to that 15, 20 years ago. And we know the rule that you have to, it's not necessarily wanting certain things to happen, but you have to encourage them to happen. That's what I was just talking to my son in California about. I said, go by the county office and, see where the taxes are on the building, on on our school and on our Masjid. And I'm doing it on the phone. I was doing that because I just got I got this letter a little while ago. It's about notice of overpayment. That they said that they overpaid me for June 2017. And that I have to pay them back for that month. It's $1,363. I'm not, well, usually that ain't a whole lot of money, but right now we need all the money we can get our hands on. But this is bull crap. Not only the lady, the house is on Section 8, she didn't leave that house to 2019. So she went 2 years without paying any rent. Right? The water is not on in the house now. I use my house where I go across the street and get buckets of water. Big buckets, no problem. Because they left with a water bill of, I don't know, a couple of thousand, somewhere around there. And I don't mind not paying it, but I'm not paying it now. And I'll do without the water. It's healthy, for me it's healthy, because it keeps you from getting sweetie pied, and I need this and I need that. Well, just if you gotta go across the street every morning and get 2 buckets of water, if you wanna bathe, you have to have 3, just for the heck of it. You don't need, you wanna do all that, and you do it every day. So that means you have to go across the street. It helps keep you in shape. You look at it like, this help keeps me in shape. I have to go across, I have to carry it. You know, when you get older, it's actually helping you. You know, your shoulders and, you know, taking 2-3 gallons, 15 gallons of water back and forth across the street is healthy. Okay, so I wanted them, now they didn't keep me out of the building. The taxes were probably up to around, okay, first they took the money out of the bank and gave it to Mukhtar, right? Then they didn't tell, you know, I was still put, if I went to the program in LA and I'd have made some money selling books, which I did, and CDs, I put the money in the bank. They hadn't even told me, oh, you can't get no money out of there. But they didn't have no right to give them the money. Okay, we haven't challenged them yet. We will when we get ready. We'll challenge them when we get ready. I've had 8 arrests there, 4 the last time I went out, and I kept going back and going back. And because that's what I want to do. I want to be arrested, you know. And I want them to exaggerate and exaggerate. The same thing we do to Iran, we do it in Iran and our allies, we do it to ourselves. We do it on purpose. Everything we do basically is on purpose. That's why I'll get into representative of the oppressed very soon. But when it says I have created the jinns and men, that they serve me. The jinn is not there, they're not there to challenge Allah.